I got that.
Hey everyone, Dan here with Fanatik Bike Co. Brought you out to check out my Devinci Django. This is the Django 29'er. It's sort of my test bike. I put all sorts of funny components on here. Testing out a bunch of stuff, trying different variations of things. Let's jump right in. Now, cockpit, I really like Evol's styling. I like the feel of their components. The quality is really good. I also really like their stem, the swage stem, which I believe they're actually releasing a new model of here soon. The reason I like it, aside from the styling, is that it has a 5mm rise to it, which in combination with the 35mm rise gives for a nice upright feel when pedaling. Also on steeper trails, it allows you to kind of get back over the rear wheel a little more easily. And on a shorter travel bike that I still kind of take out and ride gnarly stuff from time to time, that's kind of nice. So, moving on, I'm trying out Chromag's Square Wave XL grips. I typically run the regular Square Waves. This is a much fatter grip, and I used to run the North Shore grips, which is a wider grip, then moved to kind of smaller form factor shaped grips and wanted to see how this differed than the Square Wave. So far I like it a lot. But on long descents, I do find that I'm getting more arm pump, so I'm probably going to switch back to the regular Square Waves. But for those of you with bigger hands, something to think about. Brakes, I did a weird one here. I'm actually running the Code RSC in the rear and the Guide RSC in the front. Now, why the heck would I do that? Well, partially it was to save some money, but partially, and the way I sort of justified this, and the reason I'm doing the Code in the back, is because I'm always using the rear brake a little bit more than the front. And the biggest difference I've found with the Codes versus the Guides is not actually power, it's actually how they fade. The oil reservoir on the Codes is 30% larger than on the Guide RSC. And I find that they don't fade quite as much. The piston, one of the two pistons on the caliper is a millimeter bigger, but I haven't found power to be hugely different. So to get rid of some of that fade, I put the Code on the back, running the Guide on the front. So far so good. I'm also running a 200mm rotor in the front, so it boosts that braking power a little bit more. 180 in the rear. Moving down, I've got the Groundkeeper fender. This is our friends here in town, Tony and Keeley, that designed these. They actually cut them themselves. They get them printed and then cut them in-house. Super cool. Check those out. We love those. A lot of my coworkers are running those. Doing the Well, it's actually a 2018 chassis for the Fox 36 float. It's the Performance Elite, and I actually, in our Fox Grip 2 Comparo, swapped out the RC2 damper that this came with the Grip 2 damper, which I've really been enjoying. You can check that video out. I'll link to it up above. This is a reduced offset fork, which I wanted to try in combination with a Works Components headset. So I've actually got a -1.5 degree headset on this Django. Brings it to about a 66.5 degree head tube angle, which with a 150mm fork on a 120mm rear travel Django has been super fun. I've got it in the high position in the back because a longer, more raked out fork is going to actually bring it down a little bit. The bottom bracket is pretty reasonable. I'm really enjoying how this bike feels. Fox is now selling reduced offset forks, so you can play around with this on your own bike as well. Wheels, I've been trying out EThirteen's TRS race carbon wheel set, which so far so good. Nothing too crazy. The hub is nothing super fancy. I don't recall the engagement, but it's not phenomenal like the i9s, but I haven't touched it and I've been running it for quite a while. Running really smoothly. We don't yet know if we're going to carry these, just trying them out. Moving backwards, the Bike Yoke Revive dropper post. I've got the 165mm post, is super smooth. The action, if you ever encounter a situation where it starts to sag on you, like with some other dropper posts, you can actually fix this one on trail. All you need is a 4mm Allen. We'll do another video on that. Actually, Jason has a video on that, and I'll link to that as well, but a phenomenal post. Another Evol Forge saddle. I've been running that for years now. I love it. Saddle's a very personal thing, but personally, I like that one a lot. Moving down, we've got the Fox Float DPS Evol that this bike comes with, 120 mil rear travel. That thing's been great. I did put a larger volume reducer on there. I was bottoming out a lot. I weigh 160 pounds. Don't run a ton of PSI in there, so I was bottoming, larger volume reducer. The X01 DUB crankset, I was curious as to whether there is actually a longevity difference and performance difference on there. So trying that out. This is the press fit bottom bracket. Have had no creaking whatsoever so far. So far so good, which is what you want from a crankset. No problems there. The Crank Brothers Stamp 7 pedals, which are huge. The pins are quite wide, so I found that they're not like insanely grippy, which has actually been fine. They're wide enough that even if you get bounced around a little, you're still on there. And it allows you to kind of reposition your feet if you need to, whereas some of the really sticky ones, if you get bounced off, you can't reposition your feet unless you sit down. I've been really happy with them. Bushings, bearings, good to go so far. Running them for a while, beating the crap out of them. Now, I'm actually running a GX Eagle rear derailleur and GX Eagle cassette. Again, these are wearable parts, and I wanted to save some money on this build. So, on the wearable bits, I'm running GX Eagle. For the shifter, I'm running X01, and that is to get that nice crisp shifting feel. Bug. And the EThirteen TRSr tires, which the decals match up with the wheels very nicely. Nice feature. The tires themselves have been working well. I don't know that I would select them over my normal Maxxis DHF DHR combo. Again, tires are a very subjective thing. They change, what's appropriate changes from trail to trail and geographically. I'm very accustomed to the Maxxis DHF DHR. It's pretty much my go-to for most conditions. So, they've been performing phenomenally though. I have no complaints about them at all. That does it for my Devinci Django 29'er bike check. Again, this is sort of a mishmash of parts, trying stuff out. If you have any questions about these, please feel free to let me know. I'll answer your comments below. You can always also give us a ring at 1-844-FANATIC. That's 1-844-326-2845, or shoot us an email at sales@fanatikbike.com. Now, if you like these bike checks, if you like watching our videos, please do subscribe to our channel. We love making them. You can give us a like. That helps us out, helps us get out here and have some fun and show you guys what we like to ride. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.